All right, welcome. Today we're kicking off a really exciting adventure. We are going to map out your very first steps into the world of ethical hacking. And our starting point, our most essential tool for this whole quest, is Linux. So let's just jump right in. It really all boils down to one powerful question. How do you defend the digital world? It's not just about stopping bad guys, it's about understanding them, thinking like an attacker so you can build even stronger defenses. And that, right there, is the whole idea behind what we're talking about today. And this is where your journey, your hero's journey, really begins. We're going to give you the map and show you exactly where to find the key. So, about that key, let's talk about why Linux isn't just an option for people in cybersecurity, it's pretty much the standard. So you have to think of it this way. Linux is so much more than just an operating system. It's a foundational environment, kind of like a sandbox or a playground where you can build, break, and rebuild things to really, truly understand how they work. This is the world that cybersecurity pros live and breathe in. And this contrast is everything. Think about it. Most operating systems you use are kind of like these sealed boxes. They're built for consumers, and they hide all the complicated stuff. Well, Linux is the complete opposite. It's like a transparent engine. You see everything, and you control everything. For an ethical hacker, that transparency, that's not a flaw. It's a superpower. So, to get started, you've got to pick what's called a distribution. Just think of it as a flavor of Linux. Each one is like a different starting kit for your adventure. Kali Linux is the big one, the industry standard. It's just packed with hundreds of hacking tools right out of the box. Parrot OS is pretty similar, but it's really focused on privacy and anonymity. And then you've got Ubuntu. It's one of the most popular and user-friendly versions out there. It's perfect for just learning the ropes before you get into the more specialized stuff. All right, so every hero needs a training montage, right? Well, this is ours. Let's jump into how you're going to build up those fundamental skills. Okay, here's the roadmap, and trust me, the order here really matters. You start with the absolute basics, just getting Linux installed and getting comfortable with it. Then, and this is huge, you master the command line. That's where the real power is. From there, you dig into networking. You've got to understand how systems talk to each other. And finally, you dip your toes into scripting to make all your tasks way faster and more efficient. I can't stress this enough. Mastering the command line is absolutely crucial. I know it might look a little intimidating at first, but this is where the real power is. It's how you'll do pretty much everything that matters, jumping between directories, managing files, and, this is a big one, setting user permissions to control who can access what. This is where you'll install your tools, tweak configuration files. It's literally the language of control. Okay, next up, you gotta understand the network. And these tools, they're gonna be your first set of eyes and ears. Ping is the simplest. It's basically like shouting, "Hey, are you there?" across the network to see if a computer answers back. Then there's Nmap, which is way more advanced. It's like walking up to a building and checking every single door and window to see what's open. And Netstat, that shows you all the conversations, all the active connections happening on your own machine. Okay, so we've covered the theory, you've got the basic skills down. What's next? Well, now it's time to actually apply them. Let's head into the practice arena. Yep, this is where the theory stops and the real practice starts. It's time to get your hands dirty. And this is super important, you've got to do it in a safe, controlled environment, a place where you can experiment without breaking anything in the real world. All right, let's talk about your first real ethical hacking toolbox. You've got Wireshark. Think of this like a super-powered microscope for network traffic. It lets you see every little piece of data flying around. Then there's Metasploit, which is this massive library of known exploits you can use to test defenses. Hydra is a tool for seeing just how easy it is to crack passwords with brute force. And Burp Suite? That's your Swiss Army knife for poking around websites and web apps to find their weak spots. Okay, so you've got these powerful tools. Where do you actually use them? And listen up, because this is critical. You do not use them on live websites. That's illegal and will get you in a lot of trouble. Instead, you go to these digital playgrounds. Places like TryHackMe and HackTheBox are basically virtual training gyms, filled with machines that are meant to be hacked. It's all legal, all safe, and the perfect place to practice. Okay, before we go any further, let's pause. There's something incredibly important we need to talk about. This isn't just about learning skills, it's about a philosophy. It's about the ethical hacker's code. This right here, this is the absolute core of this entire journey. We're not learning this stuff to cause trouble or do harm. We're learning how to use these skills legally, responsibly, and for one reason,
to find weaknesses so we can help make our digital world stronger and safer. And, this quote from the creator of Linux himself, Linus Torvalds, just says it all. Security isn't some destination you arrive at, it's a constant process, always evolving. And it's a community effort, one that you're now getting ready to be a part of.
So we've covered the why, the how, and the what. We've basically laid out the entire map for you. And that means this isn't really the end, it's the beginning of your adventure. And that was really the whole goal here. You now have the map, that's your skills roadmap. And you have the key, which is the power and transparency of Linux. The path forward from here, it's all laid out for you. But just remember, this is an ongoing quest. It never really ends. So what are your next steps? Well, you can start diving into more advanced security topics. You should definitely join online forums and communities where you can learn from others. And hey, maybe one day you'll even contribute back to the open source projects that make all of this possible. It really is a community effort, and now you can be part of it. So, the path is laid out right in front of you. There's really only one question left. The digital realm is waiting. It's waiting for its next offender, its next builder, its next ethical explorer. So, are you ready?